you for joining us. Today we're going to be having a very interesting conversation about the ongoing ASUU strike, as well as more updates on the position of the government, ASUU, and the students. My name is Olchi Alex, and today I have with me two wonderful gentlemen in the studio. Hello, can we know you?
My name is Okro David.
Okay.
And I am Guru Dream by name.
Okay. So I'm very sure that we're quite familiar with everything that has been going on about the ASUU strike. We know that ASUU, they claim to be fighting for funding for revitalization, university autonomy, condition of service, and academic allowances and other things. We know that they went on a 9-month strike in 2020, and it seems like that strike did not result in anything positive. I mean, the federal government, Chris Ngige, said that they met 98% of ASUU's demand. Today we're going to talk about the position of ASUU, the position of the federal government, and also if there are anything that the students can do about this whole issue, like if the students even have any stand. So I think it'd be very interesting if we start with, the ASUU claiming to be fighting for the benefit of the students. Do you really think that ASUU is fighting for the students?
Well, if you ask me, ASUU is not fighting for the students. They can't establish this anywhere. ASUU as an organization, they are mainly fighting for a better working condition for themselves, and to achieve this end, they use students as a bait, because they know as long as students are in the house, federal government will not want people to hear that they couldn't meet ASUU's demand and then sit down in the house, they're strike. So they will try to protect their image. But as per ASUU, it's just about working environment, a good working environment for themselves. Because if you check, ever since ASUU has been going on strike, it's just the student that keep losing and losing and losing. Your house rent will expire, your foodstuffs, you need to go and work. When there's even before they embark on strike, they don't have any plans on like how would this student fare when we're on strike. If ASUU is really fighting for students, they should think about, okay, since we want to embark on strike, let's ensure most of the students are going for IT. So they'll be useful when they are out there, but they won't do it. Now when you come back, you go for IT, you won't even stay up to a month, you will not learn anything, and they're still going to rush you. I think ASUU is not helping issues. Federal government doesn't care. ASUU is like killing the educational institution in this country more than the federal government is doing.
Okay, but when ASUU say they are fighting for revitalization of the facilities in school, is that not for the benefit of the students?
Oh well, I'm a student of mass communication. I've experienced ASUU strike for 3 times, and all those 3 times nothing changed. I still stand up every day if I come to classes.
Well, that's what they're fighting for now.
Yes, they fought for it the first time, the second time, they're not doing the third time, and nothing is changing. It's not affecting me. The truth is, there's no way whatever money federal government will give them will affect me as a person. They only destroy my own career because they keep me here in school. I won't graduate on time. Some of our classmates, some people that their parents has money, they are abroad. Some people couldn't wait again. They have to process visa for their children, so they're schooling abroad. Then some of us that couldn't afford it, we need to wait and wait until ASUU changes their mind. So from even what we've noticed, it's not like federal government is meeting up to the... If federal government actually met the demands, ASUU won't be going on strike. So ASUU will feel like, these children are suffering, let's just come out so that it won't be like we're that wicked. And then after some time, they'll be like, no, we need a good working environment. They will go on strike again.
Okay.
So they don't just say what's revitalized. That's just the one big grammar they use to confuse people. They're not fighting for students.
But when they are fighting for the increment in their salaries, like the lecturers have to be comfortable before they can dispense knowledge well. Don't you think they have a right to at least demand for a certain level of comfort before they can work well?
When it comes to the comfortability of lecturers, it's not my business as a student. I paid for the service. It's not free education, I paid. And I should get a service that it is equal to the money I'm paying. So if the money I'm paying couldn't make them comfortable, they should find another way of getting federal government to make them comfortable and not sending me home even when I paid money for certain service. I don't know if you get it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I wonder why people are not really. They're not telling me what I need to hear. People are just talking off point. Honestly.
Okay. Do you have like any idea of what other thing that ASUU can do to put to put pressure on the federal government without harming the students?
If ASUU is really serious about what they termed fighting for students, all of them should resign as a protest.
Wow.
I tell you,
extreme.
if it breaks out that all the lecturers in Nigeria resign because they want they are fighting for students or they are trying to protect the future of public universities, federal government will be forced to act. Or everybody wants to go and teach abroad instead of Nigeria, just like the doctors are doing. Federal government is crying, trying to stop doctors from going abroad. Why can't ASUU do the same thing? So it's not just what we think.
Okay, now we know that the federal government, before ASUU ended the strike in 2020, the federal government claimed that they met 98% of ASUU's demand. But ASUU is also saying that none of their demands were met. Now, do you think that the government is doing enough, considering our the economic situation of the country? Do you think the government is doing enough, or do you think there's more that can be done?
As regards to federal government's approach on the ongoing strike, I feel the federal government needs to do more. Now, in the area of ASUU said the reason why they had to call off the 2020 strike that lasted for 9 months was because the Nigerian government had no money and also because they felt the economy was bad. Well, and on federal government side, federal government said that they have met all the demands of ASUU. Now, the bitter truth is this: who do we believe? Should we believe the federal government or should we believe ASUU?
Okay, I believe that there is something fishy going on between federal government and ASUU. Like, how can the government say they met 98% of the demands, and then ASUU said they didn't meet anything, but then they still called off the strike? Why? Why did they call off the strike?
Well, it's really frustrating. If I am to answer, I have no answer to this question because I am not one of the mechanisms in ASUU or even the federal government. But I so much believe that the federal government and ASUU are not saying the truth. There is something on the ground between ASUU and the federal government that they still don't want the masses to know about. Because why would ASUU embark on 9-month strike, and after embarking on 9-month strike, wasting students' accommodation fee?
Yes.
Putting students on risk and so many other things, and you just come out and say the reason why we're calling off this strike, that we took students off the campus for 9 months, was because the federal government do not have money and also the economy was bad. So I feel a lot needs to be done on the area of NAS. I feel NAS is really not doing their own part. A lot needs to be done. Now, this should be a meeting of 3, whereby the NAS themselves, there should be a student representative.
Yes.
In the ongoing negotiation between the federal government and ASUU. And I so much believe with this, the NAS, the student union, can report back to the Nigerian students to really know the true story behind the ongoing ASUU strike that does not want to have an everlasting solution. Thank you.
Okay, now there was a report that the reason ASUU called off the strike, even when they claimed nothing was done, was that were they pitying the government because Nigeria doesn't have money, or what do you think about that?
It's strange.
Well, it's not really because they were pitying Nigerian government. As humans, we have conscience. Their conscience was, hitting them so hard and then bad. You guys are not doing the right thing. Why will you go on strike? And someone said it's better to learn in an inconvenient environment than not to learn at all. ASUU knows this.
Exactly.
So sometimes when they just hit their home and all, they are doing other businesses. So they know. Sometimes they just call themselves together. We're still humans. Christians or Muslims. Let's call this strike off. So that the educational institution will not die entirely, because if it dies today, it's not federal government that killed it, it's us.
Okay. Well, I think there are also rumors of ASU or ASU officials being bribed or something like that. What do you think about that?
Okay, there've been so many claims that are yet to be verified that ASU has been bribing both the media and some, agencies just to cover up the whole mess. But the truth is, the ASU chairman, Emmanuel Sodoki, has to also bear in mind that he's, playing with the lives of Nigerian students. It's so unfortunate that, getting into the university that you have to study, you just gain admission for a 4 years course, and you end up spending 8 years with the Nigerian politicians. It's really uncalled for. Yes, if you look at it, those who gain admission in 2017 now have almost spent about 7 to 8 years in the university. Do you understand? So it's really something that ASU needs to understand that, see, we are playing with the lives of people. Even though their kids are not there, they should also bear in mind that there are other people who really need this. Without a good education, there is no development in any country. So I think it's time the Nigerian student, NAS as a body, should wake up and, if they feel if there is a schedule deal between the NAS, ASU officials, and the federal government, I feel it's time for them to desist from it and find a lasting solution to this ongoing strike.
So we want to talk about where the students stand in all this. Now we know that they have tried protesting recently, and the Minister of Education did address them and said that things were going to be done, and then nothing happened. It seems like his addressing was just to calm them down, stop them from protesting, and then we go back to the normal, like nothing was done. Now, do you think that there is more that the students can do concerning the strike? Do you think that there's anything extra they can do, seeing that the protest didn't even work?
Okay, as regards to the contribution of the Nigerian student to the ongoing strike, in order to find an everlasting solution, I feel the students have a great role to play in this big issue, because if you notice, this is an issue that is really on the side of the students, like it's hitting them so hard. So I feel it is time for the Nigerian students, to come out and let their voices be heard. They've engaged in protest, and if they see that it's not working, I think it's time for also the student union to come out as one, without being distracted by money, either from, some sort of bribe from the federal government or the ASU, just for any of them to side them. So it should be a fight for justice, a fight for cause, not just a fight to gain anything, because there is no amount of money that the federal government will give to Nigerian students that even make them feel, get away with the pains and all that. So I feel the National Association of Nigerian Students, NAS, should come together as a body and see an end to this issue. Thank you.
What do you think?
Well, each time there's a problem and you want to solve it, you first of all x-ray the problem and get those who are benefiting from the said problem. When you've disconnected all the areas they are benefiting from, you are very close to solving the problem. Now you see Nigerian students, they are confused. They don't even know who their enemies are in this whole scenario. They don't even know who is on their side. That's why it will be difficult for the whole student to come out as a body and protest. How many universities do we have in Nigeria? Do you know millions of students that will come out and Nigeria will be grounded? But it can't happen when you don't even know what you're going out there to protest for. Just like he said, we need to start asking questions. What is ASU really fighting? They need to tell us, how are they fighting for us, so that we'll be sure of who we are siding in the whole picture. You get? Nigerian students need to start thinking beyond their immediate environment. They need to start asking questions. these people are just playing with our career, they are playing with our time, they are playing with our vision. You enter school, before you come into a university or before you gain admission, you must have things you want to do for yourself, but you enter school, the whole thing is gone. Some people ended up dropping out and maybe going to learn skill and all that. So this thing is affecting us, and I think we need to brace up and do more, like start from asking questions, because if you get to know what is happening to you, you'll be able to address it properly.
But just remembering the protests that happened in 2020, the one against the part of the police force that was NSAS protest, and just seeing the effects that it had on people, with people being killed, I feel like that idea or that image can discourage a lot of people from coming out for protest. So what do you think?
The problem we have in this part of the world is that nobody wants to die. If you go to Western countries, somebody can come and set himself ablaze to make a point. And even if you don't have the mind, you can't see somebody doing this and you will be like, oh yeah, we want to live. We don't care if we live on our knees or we're just crawling. We just want to live. And that's why these people don't take us serious. People need to start acting, reasoning like normal humans and not animals. It's only an animal that wants to just live anyhow. A normal human that reasons will not live anyhow. You get it?
Okay. Do you also think that it's possible for other unions or other bodies to also like go on strike on behalf of us, on behalf of the students?
Well, you see all these bodies, and do you even know why do we even have so many bodies in the first place? These are just political machineries. Each time election is coming, through those bodies, they will control virtually everyone. I don't know if you get it. So if these bodies are really out there for the development of this nation or country, whatever you might choose to call it, or they are really interested in what is happening in Nigeria, I think education has a lot to contribute in national development.
Yes.
So it should be everybody's concern. But in Nigeria, until it gets to me, man, I'm not doing anything. But it will eventually get to everybody else. So.
Okay, well, this has been very interesting. This is where we're going to wrap up today's conversation. Feel free to comment and give us your thoughts on the things that we shared. And also tell us more topics that you would like us to talk about. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at My School News TV for more news updates. This is where we're going to end for today. Thank you very much for watching.